All right, today we are jumping into one of the most foundational stories out there, Genesis, chapter 12. And we're going to look at this not as some dusty old text, but as what it really is, a powerful human drama. It's a story about a huge promise, a really dangerous journey, and a moment where incredible faith just completely gives way to fear. So let's get into it. So the story kicks off right out of the gate with this absolutely staggering, world-changing promise. I mean, this isn't just a casual, hope you have a nice day kind of blessing. This is a divine statement that gets the whole narrative rolling. The stakes are set from line one. We are talking about the destiny of nations, and it all hangs on how one person is going to respond. So who's the guy at the heart of this epic promise? Well, his name is Abram. And his story is just a fascinating look into the complexities of faith and, human nature. He's about to be asked to drop everything he's ever known, based on nothing more than this promise. Okay, so let's really look at the call itself. This is the moment, the divine command that changes everything and sets Abram off on a path into a future he knows absolutely nothing about. Now, what's so interesting here is the way this whole promise is structured. It starts with this enormous ask. Leave it all behind, your home, your family, everything. But then it's followed by this incredible 7-part blessing. It's not just about him getting wealthy. Abram is being promised a legacy, a famous name, and that he'll be a source of blessing for the entire world. It's a real all-or-nothing kind of deal. So how does Abram react to this life-altering command? Does he argue, ask questions? Nope. He just goes. And that single act of faith is what really defines his entire legacy. And you have to get this. Abram was 75 years old when this happened. 75! That one detail just cranks up the intensity of his obedience, doesn't it? This isn't some kid going off on an adventure. This is a man at an age when most people are settling in for good, and he's being told to completely uproot his life for a land he's never even seen. And he wasn't exactly traveling light. The text is very clear that he took his wife Sarai, his nephew Lot, all of their possessions, and even the people in their household. This was a massive undertaking, like a whole clan migrating, all riding on that one promise. So when he finally arrives in Canaan, the land he was promised, what's the first thing he does? He builds altars. This is his public way of showing his faith and his thanks. He's essentially marking this new land as a place of worship. He's not staking a claim with a flag. He's doing it with an altar. So far, so good. He looks like the perfect model of faith. But the story is about to take a very sharp turn. This ideal journey of faith is about to collide head-on with the harsh realities of the real world. This is where the story gets really complicated and deeply, deeply human. A really bad famine hits the land, the very land he was just promised. So the man of faith now has to make a very practical choice to survive. He heads down to Egypt, which was the superpower of the ancient world, a place with tons of wealth, but also a place that could be really dangerous for foreigners. And it's right here, on the edge of Egypt, that fear just takes over. Abram looks at his beautiful wife Sarai, and his faith in God's protection seems to just evaporate. And this really tells you something profound about people, right? Even after you've gotten a divine promise and taken this huge leap of faith, that basic instinct for self-preservation can just come in and overwhelm everything else. So this is the plan he comes up with, a calculated deception. By telling everyone Sarai is his sister, he's basically making her available to other men. He's putting her in incredible danger to protect himself. And the irony is it's just off the charts. The man who was promised to be a blessing to all nations starts his first real international encounter by endangering his own wife for his own benefit. And of course, the plan completely backfires. Spectacularly. Sarah is so beautiful, she's taken immediately into the Pharaoh's own palace. And while Abram is getting rich off the deal, they're giving him sheep and servants because of her, God has to step in to fix his mess. The Lord sends plagues on Pharaoh's household, and it's actually the pagan king who puts 2 and 2 together and figures out what's really going on. And the climax of this whole episode is just this deeply humiliating confrontation. It's not a prophet or priest who calls Abram out. It's Pharaoh. The king of Egypt is the one who has to lecture the chosen man of God on basic ethics. And Abram, he is totally silent, exposed, shamed, and then unceremoniously kicked right out of the country.
So, all this brings us to the central puzzle of the story. How do we square these two different versions of Abram? You have the man of incredible, unwavering faith who leaves his home, and then you have the man of crippling fear who lies and deceives in Egypt.
And this is what makes the story so believable. Abram's failure is undeniable. It's right there. And yet, God's promise still holds. He's protected, Sarai is returned to him, and he leaves Egypt with more stuff than he had when he got there. It's this messy, complicated outcome that really challenges any simple idea of karma. It kind of suggests the divine promise isn't based on Abram being perfect, but that it keeps going even through his absolute worst moments. And that leaves us with this final question to think about. This story doesn't give us a perfect hero, not even close. Instead, it gives us a foundational figure who is deeply, recognizably flawed. And maybe that's the whole point. Maybe faith isn't about being perfect, but it's about the journey itself. A journey that has moments of building altars out of devotion and moments of telling lies out of fear. It's just a powerful look at how greatness and weakness can, and often do, live inside the very same person.